Hey everyone, this is Louis7 and I am streaming the Lord of the Rings online. And I know one thing very exciting I had today was the interview that I recorded yesterday afternoon time rather, with Reninia, the producer of LOTRO, so I do plan to talk about that a little bit. But what is going to be going on with this stream is the Throne of the Dreadtear raid with my kinship on Anor, so we are doing it on level run. It is going to be our first time doing the full raid as a kin. We have done about a tenth, I would say, of the first boss and maybe about half of the second boss, so haven't really done it much. We did poke our heads in and did not really get that far because we did it when the servers launched and a lot of us were under leveled and definitely under geared. And even now I have some concerns about gear, but don't really have too much. That's just because I haven't been playing on the server too much. I don't know the progress everybody has made as far as getting their equipment and the such together. But anyway, that is what is going to be going on today, and it has been so long since I played this character. This seems to happen every time that I take a break from playing a character. I forget everything going on about them. So I guess a little bit introductions of this for anybody that has maybe joined my channel more recently and hasn't seen it. Has been a while since I've done this series. It's my Warden's Gondor series, and basically the series is going to conclude when we go to Mordor. But for now, we are still in Gondor, and Throne of the Dreadtear is located in Gondor, so this is another part, and I think we're up all the way up to 27 on that with this character. But today, while I might do some questing to start off, because we do have about half an hour till Throne of the Dreadtear, which is scheduled for 7 p.m., which would be 8 p.m. server time. And to start off, actually doing something, what I thought I could do is some of the, maybe try to get another essence doing the flower dailies. Can't think of their exact name right now besides flower dailies. But anyway, the daily quests you can do in North Ithilien to get some essences at this point. And I do want to say hello to Rohan B, who said they really enjoyed watching the interview with Reninia today. And I'm glad you enjoyed it. The impression I have from the interview overall is a lot of people did enjoy it, which was good. I do have a couple comments on that because I think there are a couple parts that could have been better, and I basically could have done better. Doesn't have to do with Reninia, more better on my end, but we'll talk to about that in a moment. So Rohan, you were very impressed with how honest and open he was. So was I. There were a lot of things I did not expect to, I guess, get out of them and get out of, Reninia. But ultimately, he did seem to be very open and actually talking about, this was one of the goals, to talk about, I guess, Standing Stone Games' viewpoint on things and how they thought of the development of LOTRO and adding things, upcoming content and recent content and all of that. That's what I was hoping to find out, and it seemed pretty successful on that end. And it was kind of, I guess, my thoughts on the interview going into it and while planning it was that I just wanted to find out a little bit more. I didn't want to delve too deep into specific topics and just cover a wide variety of different things, and then also integrate the viewer questions for what was intended to be the second half. But ultimately the way I structured it was I included some viewer questions on the topics I already had planned. So then the viewer Q&A portion ended up being maybe a quarter of the total interview. Okay, subscribers, town services, and all these such there. So one of the, I guess, most immediately noticeable things about the interview is my mic quality was very bad. And I think the issue is my microphone was far away. I was sitting in a slightly back position than I normally am, somewhere, if I can scoot back, a little bit more like this, basically. So I was kind of far away, and you might even hear my voice change as I scoot back there. So that was one issue. Even though I did test my audio as I usually do, especially for something like that, I did not test it sitting so far away, and I did not adjust the microphone position. So that is one thing I could have done better with. And on top of that, I think I was talking a little bit quietly, a little bit softly, because outside of streaming and YouTube videos, that's the way I usually am. So I think I kind of fell back into that habit of not really talking up where the microphone picked up my audio as well as it could have or should have. And one thing I did check before the stream started, is really warm in here. For some reason my air conditioner is not kicking on. While that is good for audio, speaking of audio background noise, why am I going to Westbury? We need to go to Southbury. But I will be right back because I need to turn my AC on. So my air conditioner, where I am, is, I probably should have waited to get settled before I got fully back, but where I am, it is basically a wall unit, kind of like a window AC that is just in the wall instead of in a window. So sometimes it doesn't really like to kick on when it gets really hot in here, and other times it will kick on while it's already cool and at even below the temperature it's set to. So kind of inconsistent, and sometimes I do have to basically manually force it to turn on or off in some cases. I am really lost with this character and where I need to be going. Let's see. I need to go to, yes, Hinitha Noon. Yeah, I did adjust the audio and post processing in the editing phase of the interview, but it still could have been better quality, I guess, is ultimately just one thing I noticed with that. And I hope it didn't affect the interview too much, Jared. That is good to know that you didn't think it affected it too much. So this is one of those quests. I do want to get these. I want to, again, maybe try to get an essence today. That is the biggest issue with this character, and I think the 105 stuff, is it's way harder, I think, to get essences than armor, and that's something that doesn't make sense to me, and that's something I've also felt a little bit at level 130. If I didn't spend so much time playing LOTRO, then I would make a video on that topic. It's something I've thought about and kind of planned the idea for a video like that, just talking about why armor upgrades aren't exciting but should be, and essence upgrades, or getting essences, is not really exciting, but it's very important. At least that's the way I feel about it. And Jared, I definitely agree. I prefer to be cold than hot. Especially because you can usually protect from the cold, especially if it's like inside. You can put a jacket on, warmer clothes on, but if it's all hot inside, kind of hard to get away from that, basically. So I have plenty of the extracts. I can barter for actually a lot more armor, I believe, or I can barter for stuff to barter for a lot more armor, and I can even barter for jewelry. But the problem with this character, again, is I need those essences. So that is what I'm going to try to maybe do these dailies once, just to see how that goes. I always feel like my face starts to itch when I stream or do videos or anything. I try not to do that too much. I feel like it's a distracting thing, and it's just something I feel like I shouldn't be doing, actually, with the face cam on, just like scratching my face. But sometimes, now that I'm talking about it, my chin is itching, but sometimes I just need to. So yeah, that was one of the early impressions I had from the interview. I guess because I was editing it and spending so long on that, I noticed the audio issues like right away, that they aren't up to the standards I would like. I also do know right now my air conditioner is running, so it's even worse, but my microphone is very sensitive. It's a condenser mic, so it picks up a lot of noise, and my PC fans are not too loud, but it seems to really like to pick that up, even though my desktop location is under my desk and kind of far away from the mic, but it still likes to pick that up, it seems like. So one thing I did before this stream was adjust all my wires and replug everything in and look at the mic settings and look at the mic positioning and all that, so I made some minor adjustments, so maybe my audio can be a little bit better than it was beforehand. Another thing I have thought about now that it's summer again is potentially changing chairs. I don't really want to get a new chair just to get a new chair for summer, but it would be nice to have a mesh back chair that is a little bit cooler. This one is, what is it called? Bonded leather, and it's already tearing up even though the chair is less than a year old. Slightly tearing up. That's more just the right elbow since I put my elbow there. But while the chair is comfortable, it has some annoying aspects that are really showing, I guess, this summer. What do I need to do here as far as the quest? I can pick up a dwarf's beard. Which is unrelated to Treebeard, which is a legendary server that I played in my last stream. I had a lot of fun on that server, and I think actually playing on that server made me a little bit more excited, I guess, to continue playing on that server. But today we have an extra exciting thing on Anor, which I'm wondering how the population is doing here. Probably, that's actually better than I thought. I expected there to be not that many people on Anor today. I would guess a lot of the population that was interested in Anor would be ones that would be interested in the new legendary servers, but at the same time, the people who have stuck around this long on Anor may have already gotten that out of them and want to just stay playing here mostly. But yeah, in the future, I am excited to get back to Treebeard and working on my characters there. Right, what are we doing? I really don't know what quest it is here. Snuffing them out, maybe the fire starters? Yeah, snuffing them out is right in this area, and that is one of the flower dailies, it looks like. The concern is, I just realized I don't think I actually picked up the wrapper daily. I don't think, maybe I did. I would hope if I did that it is in one of these. So this is survey, that is something completely different. This is actually something that would be good for me to do, get these essence fragments. Aha, here it is, complete quest for the herbalist. And I assume that's all these repeatable quests are herbalist ones. And I don't think, as it says with the green text there, I don't think a lot of these I have actually repeated at this point. Some of them I might have. Mavics, I have never heard of that chair. There's one I can't remember the name of, a really expensive chair that is out of my price range. And hello Fabric. Glad you could catch a LOTRO stream this time, and not just the Final Fantasy stream, which, speaking of Final Fantasy, I do plan to get back to that potentially this weekend on Sunday is like my tentative plans right now, just as a heads up for that. Also, the game is really quiet. Now it is really loud. There we go. Have to find a balance. But anyway, Treebeard. Yeah, so with Treebeard, I don't think their intention was to do that one too fast. They said 5 to 6 months for new content updates. Now I'm getting Fierce Resolve right there. Did not mean to use that. Forgot how to play a Warden, it's been so long. There are loud vehicles outside right now. I'm glad there are a lot of fire starters. I kind of remember these enemies, but I didn't remember them being so densely located in a particular area, and that seems like the case right here, but there are a lot of them located in this area. Okay, might need to turn my volume down a little. Oh, somebody is here. It's Capo. It's been a while since we've seen Capo, but he has been in streams before. Another Warden in my kinship, the Mithril League here on Anor. So Ecthelion, you are wondering if I enjoy Final Fantasy more than LOTRO, and there are parts of it I maybe enjoy more. It being a new game to me, that has a lot of interesting aspects that makes me, I guess, want to continue playing it, because that's a lot of stuff I haven't ever done before and haven't experienced, and just something different. So it's nice for that. One thing I like with LOTRO is I have characters at endgame and also at endgame, which would be the Anor endgame, which is kind of endgame, it's just a little bit of a different endgame. And I can do raids with my kinship, and a lot of the people I know, being the ones in my kinship, there's the benefit of that with LOTRO as well. And I really like the Warden class. It's been a while since I played this one, but I do enjoy it. Alright, we still need fire starters. Try to head north because I need to go that way anyway, but the question is if there are actually fire starters there. Yeah, the deadly difficulty on the new servers is quite fun. I will say my Guardian is actually a little bit, I feel overpowered. I almost feel like I need to turn the difficulty up on my Guardian, playing at deadly at like level 9 or whatever, just because it is fairly easy feeling. But at the same time, I had a friend, Dan's Adventures. I need to shake my fist. I don't even know if he saw me shake my fist, but this time I'll actually help. I guess we're working on the same quest. Yeah, so the character XP, somebody commented that on one of my videos recently, that they don't want the character XP on a server like Treebeard, where one of the points of the server is you get XP more slowly. But then you have this new feature which is exclusive to either Shadowfax or Treebeard, but it's true for Treebeard, that one of the other features of the server is that you can do the landscape difficulty and turn that up. My phrasing with words is very bad right now, phrasing with sentences. I feel like I'm making no sense, but anyway, you can turn the difficulty up and get more XP, which is kind of ironic because the point of this server is to not get as much XP, and then they have that feature where the reward is getting more XP. And while the Virtue XP is nice, it's only 5%. I've talked about this a few times. I think that is actually a good amount, and it is a nice thing. I wish they could change the Virtue XP just for Treebeard somehow. It might be too hard to change it just for Treebeard. That might be out of the scope of possibilities. But it would be nice if maybe you could get crafted XP instead, or you could get something like reputation bonus instead, or even just extra Virtue XP for being on Treebeard. With that, instead of 1 to 5%, it could be maybe something like 2 to 10%. What am I getting in this area? It says saving the wilds, which would be douse the flames of burning brush. There's one. I was like, I have not seen any burning brush, and there we go. That is good. I don't know why I'm dousing the flames. These are not quite ugly bushes. I have to give these bushes credit for not being as ugly as the ugly bushes. So Milo, you just watched the interview and you thought it was really good. I'm glad you did. And again, seems to be the overall feedback. A lot of people seem to enjoy it. I even enjoyed it. I think Reninia does a really good job talking and speaking about things. I would have concern if he weren't a producer for LOTRO and our roles were reversed. Not necessarily reversed, like swapped, but if he was a content creator for LOTRO and made YouTube videos, I feel like he could do a good job on that, just based on my impressions from the interview and other Q&A things he has done, being on like the Court of Ends weekly streams. Yeah, Fabric, I feel the same way. All my characters, there are a few reasons for this, but most of my characters stop getting their progress around the Rohan and Gondor times. Alright, so we have about 12 minutes till we get to the actual Throne of the Dread Terror, which I'm quite excited for. I'll maybe talk a little bit about my experience with the raid, which is not all that much, as we get closer to actually doing it. I wonder if I have any deeds left in this area. I feel like I already did like a Beast Slayer deed, so it at least doesn't look like I need these guys. There's Oxlip, all these flowers. To be honest, with this character and the, I guess, next update being just in a month, we don't know exactly when in August, but the plan was August for us to get Mordor. I'm not that concerned with actually picking up the flowers. It's more so, as I keep repeating over and over again, essences are the issues right now, so getting these dailies done is the most important thing for me. I just wish, I guess with an update like this was a very old update, but perhaps if essences and the North Athelian essences, if they drop from instance content, that would be quite nice. I believe there might be a way to upgrade purple essences with Morgul crests, but I have not looked all that much into it yet. Yeah, crafted gear is not really exciting to me anymore in LOTRO, unfortunately, with newer updates. And yes, Ryan, I hope to. I don't know if I can plan to. Ideally, I would plan to. I also hope to plan on doing more talks, basically, with not only Reninia, but perhaps some other people. I have a few ideas. I thought about sending Standing Stone Games, which would, I think, essentially be Cordovan, and he would forward it to whoever it needs to be forwarded to, as far as I know. Thought about sending a list of ideas I had for potential, I guess, like community engagement type things, like interviews, but even some other things. For example, with the producer role with Reninia, this was something I was kind of hoping to get a little bit of in the first interview, which maybe got a little bit, but I was hoping to do maybe a little bit more about what Reninia as a producer has done, especially being relatively new to the LOTRO team, and we did cover that a little bit, but that is something I think we could do a more concentrated type interview on. I need 4 more. I don't think I've gone to the far eastern part. I know I've been down here already, except there's another burning bush down here. And then another idea I had is maybe somebody working on the Brawler class. I don't know how many people they'd have working on the Brawler class. More so the design aspect, but perhaps even somebody that does animations for the Brawler class. Anything like that, perhaps doing a shorter interview just discussing the Brawler. And kind of similar with Gundabad, there are so many potential things. The concern I would personally have is I may not be able to do all that, especially trying to fit schedules at a point down the road. I'm just not sure how easy that would be. And Ryan and Fabric, thank you all for the compliments on being a leading LOTRO content creator. I try to make a lot of good content and the such. Here are some more burning bushes. If only these were the ugly bushes, this would be maybe my least favorite quest. It would be my favorite thing to see all the ugly bushes burning, but at least this gives me the fantasy, I suppose, of having the ugly bushes burn. Yeah, so that is another thing, because I really like the world building in LOTRO, which is blocked a lot by the environment, which is part of the world. I don't know exactly what Standing Stone Games considers world building, if things like all these little things are considered part of the world building or some sort of environment building, but it's all the world is how I'd consider it. But a lot of the landscape type world building was blocked by all the nature around, essentially. And yes, Fan, we are doing Throne very soon, about 7 minutes from now is the scheduled start time, so it's probably like 17 minutes from now, to be honest, when we'll actually get started with that. But yeah, this is quite nice looking as far as the world building goes, I think, in this area. There are a few areas I am a bit of a less of a fan of, and it could perhaps, I don't think it's a comment on the quality of the world building, but that would be an interesting aspect, maybe thinking about doing an interview with somebody like Scenario, talking about world building, is talk about a place I don't like, and maybe see if there are places they don't like, but they still designed it intentionally in a way where like it was meant to be, even if they don't like the visual aspects of it too much. And I think places like Rohan, if I think about a place like that, or even a lot of Gondor, I don't think it's all the prettiest, but it kind of makes sense. I think parts of it being a little bit boringish looking. Alright, Fan, I hope you do enjoy staying up to watch this for a bit with Throne. It has been a long while since I have run the Throne of the Dread Tier, and I think I have only done a few of the first few bosses. I know I've done boss 1 and boss 2. I don't actually know if I got all the way through boss 3 back in the day. It was at a time where I wasn't playing LOTRO quite as much, and my kin, which some members of that old kin are here today, and in the kin I'm in now in the Mytho League, but what was I going on about that? Oh yeah, so the kin on Arkenstone I was in, a lot of people stopped playing around Rohan and Gondor times, so it's kind of hard to get into raids and these such random popular branches. There are also some areas where I have kind of changed my mind on the world building. So, for example, I used to just plain old dislike West Rohan, but I have to admit there are some very neat scenes there as far as the world building goes. Hello, Tom Clar. I don't know how that accent work changes the A. So Corruption Challenge. So we are running Tier 1, I will say. I don't know what y'all are referring to with the Corruption Challenge, to be honest, in that. And by the way, now that more people are here, I hope y'all notice, or... is that the best way to put it? Yeah, I'll keep going with that. I hope y'all do notice that maybe there's some audio changes. The audio sounds a little bit better. If not, that is okay, but I made some slight adjustments to my setup and microphone and positioning of it. So hopefully my audio quality is a little bit better than it used to be. Especially compared to the interview. That is kind of what kicked me to actually look into all the things with my mic again and all that sort of stuff. Okay, third or fourth boss in Throne. That is a lot of corruptions. That is something potentially Warden could be good at, because they have the corruption removal, which essentially has no cooldown. Just have to actually build it with the gambits, and you can even put it in battle memory and spam it a little bit. Anyway, I need actually one more quest for the herbalist. It looks like I missed one, and all the stuff I have tracked. Perhaps that one could be good. Moving moss, that seems like an easy one. Maybe. That is in a totally different location, though. That is in the waste, I think. Even though it's herbalism, okay. Ooh, defeat orcs. That sounds like a fun one. That's not a... Oh, that might actually be a flower daily. What is an easy one? The soils, maybe? Whatever this one is, that's the one I want to do. Actually, yeah, I will say the soils. That one's probably the easy one. There's a certain route. I know there are some more efficient routes than what I'm doing with these flower dailies, but those are just to get started. I will go ahead and open my baskets. I don't think I actually have time to get a full essence. But we can look at the flower barter people and see what I can do to maybe improve my gear a little bit before we get started. But as a note on my gear while we're running there, is I am pretty much, I think physical mastery might be slightly down at this point, but with buffs should be pretty good, and I could even maybe boost it a little bit if I really need to. But my critical, I thought was better than that. That's because I'm in the red line, okay. I don't know why my critical goes down so much being in the red line compared to the yellow line. I think my crit cap is 27.5%. Because redline Warden's weird. So yeah, I could maybe boost my critical rating a little bit. My finesse is actually low in the red line. I can definitely say that. I'm usually playing the yellow line, so I did a lot of my stats looking at my essences and all the different options I had. I did a lot of those for the yellow line, which kind of messes things up when I look at the red line, it appears. Anyway, I'm going to connect to my kin on Discord, and as usual, it will be on push to talk, which I should make sure I actually put on, and they will be playing through my headphones. But I will point out, since this is going to be my first time running this in a while, and for a lot of people in the kin, we'll probably have some pauses like we did way back with, what was that, Rift of Ner's-Gashu, and the stuff like that on my lore master, and, well, actually this Warden way back in the day. So that's just a heads up for later on. Hello. So I have basically... Okay, good, I am on push to talk. Basically, nothing... This is the bigger stuff, essences, and I think raid stuff, but raid upgrades. But I have basically nothing to barter. It looks like you can get an essence box. This was something I was curious on, how many essence fragments it took to get an essence box, and it looks like it is 4 of those. So that is good to know, and as far as I know, you can't actually get essences from all these different extracts. Run into 2 people today, and they're both in my kin. We're actually, as far as the kin goes, not quite 10%. I was hoping it would be like 10% of the server population, but not quite. Scrolls of Empowerment. I could probably actually do those. I have only 44 of those, so never mind. Let's see, so one thing I was thinking I could do is get some plain old Vitality essences. There's a piece of gear that I'd want to essentially get rid of, but I don't see anything like that. Yeah, the one potential would be replacing this ring, but I don't know that it's that important at this point. Let's see, catching up. Hello, Maythorn. I don't think I did say hello to you. And thank you for thinking. I did a really good job on that. Even with the audio issues, besides that, I feel like the questions went overall pretty well. I was actually... When I was planning the interview, since I haven't done an interview before, I did a little bit of research on just some, I guess, tips to conduct them. And one thing Reninia did, which was a very good job, was he explained himself a lot. He explained things, explained reasoning on whatever he was talking about or their decisions with things. So I didn't really get to ask why all that much. And then also about the PvMP, somebody was commenting about that. Rick Mozingo, you said, I should have asked when they were going to fix PvMP. The problem is, I don't really do PvMP at all. I don't think that would have been really relevant to the content I do and to my regular viewers asking about PvMP. Well, some of them probably do play PvMP. That was not something that really came up. There might have been one comment on PvMP, but we had limited time in the interview, so I had to pick a select few viewer questions to ask during that. Also, I am not running around for no reason. I was temporarily, but I'm back on track with picking up these seeds or something, whatever I'm doing. Fertile soil. One thing I'm excited for is being dozy and inspecting everybody's gear. It's been a while since I've been able to do that in a raid. I should start with myself because my gear is not all that great. Like, whenever I comment on anybody in my raids, kins, groups, fellowships, gear, I think it is important to know that also my gear is really bad. And I just like seeing what people have, and maybe if we're having issues, I could explain some things that could improve it. Improve our situations. Oh, y'all are talking about Throne, I think. Or a lot of stuff I wasn't familiar with. A purple ring, don't remember that. Dragok is a fun raid as far as I remember, at least, but it's been so long since I've done it, I hardly remember it. I would love to do that at some point, even over-leveled. A bug with loot roll? I have not had a bug with any loot rolls. It's free-for-all even if you change it. So with loot and LOTRO, one thing with that is everybody in the fellowship will get loot, and there's auto loot. See, I need to go south. Somebody was really loud on Discord, and I did not catch who it was to turn them down. So if you all do occasionally hear some, I guess, background audio where it sounds like voices, that is probably from my headphones. One thing I really like about them that I do talk about a lot, I know, is that they're open back. So during hot summers like this, my ears don't get all too hot. They're just like regular sweaty and hot, and not excessively so like they might normally be. So it sounds like we have just about everybody that signed up for the raid. We have a few out-of-kin people I know that were interested in this, and since we don't have 12 people on in the kin, it's good to help fill up, especially for the first boss. I know at least that one, it's very important to have a lot of people so you can actually have the damage from Rakothos be distributed. Did you say T2? That weird lag happens sometimes where I hit a skill and it decides to just take a long time to execute it, but often when that happens I can hit another one and it will go like normal. It's kind of weird. I don't really know what I'm doing. I guess I should join everybody in the raid. Yes, we are doing Throne on level because we are on the Anor Legendary server, where the level cap is 105, so it's impossible to be over-leveled for it. It is technically possible to be under-leveled for it.
From the gates of Osgiliath, foes pour into the Pelennor fields with a renewed vigor. In the wake of the Witch King's defeat, vile sorcery looms over the field as the most powerful allies.
We have 4 captains? Wow.
Gothmog spoke true of the fate he shares with Galadriel. Victory yet to find.
I just realized we have 4 captains. That is a lot. I wonder how this will work. That's a lot of overlapping support, I feel like, with the captains, especially now that the captain buffs are raid-wide. But if that's all we have available, that's okay. It's just interesting. Maybe some opportunity for some of the captains. I know at least one captain in the group usually likes running red, or not red, but they like running blue. So perhaps it's an opportunity for them to do something like this. We could have an off-tank captain, a couple red captains maybe, or even a couple blue captains. Alright, I don't like to do this during streams, but I have to reply to somebody's text, so I will be a minute to... So, one moment, I will actually be back. Alright. So as far as the raid environment, one comment I do have on that, and this was one of the reasons my initial impressions way back in the day when this raid was launched, is that I did not like the environment of this raid. It makes sense. It's something I've kind of changed my opinion over time on. That was really flashy for a moment. But usually in a raid, it's just you in a battlefield, you and your raid, and not on a giant battlefield with a bunch of NPCs and like you're in the middle of an actual battle in war or something like that. I think somebody disconnected. Yeah, if you can get a full group, especially on level, and for something like Throne of the Dreadtear as we're doing now, or the Isengard instances, because those are level locked at 75, that can be very fun, I think. And that's one benefit of the Legendary servers, is it's kind of something I forgot about, but doing all these instances on level, well, a lot of them are easy, especially something like Garth Garwin. That one is fun to do on level. You have all the Ingmar instances. I just think all that stuff is more fun to do on level, and with Legendary servers, when you have all the players concentrated in the early level ranges, or at like the level 50 cap, 60 cap, 75 cap to go with the non-scalable Isengard instances, I think it is a lot more fun. But going back to the environment, to change topics completely, going back to the environment here on the Throne of the Dreadtear, one thing is it's really laggy with all the stuff going on. I mentioned I didn't like that just as an environment thing initially. I guess it makes it feel less special, the raid. It feels more like you're doing insignificant stuff, that you have all these other people here and they just like get through it anyway. It kind of makes it feel like your accomplishments matter a little bit less. That's my impression, at least my first impressions. Okay, so I believe we are splitting this, doing this the normal old way, not the level 130 way over leveled way, but splitting the group into two. And one group will stack with their tank, and the other group will stack with the other tank, I believe. Okay, this one is the one I'm stacking on. Battle for Erebor. Tier 2 challenge. I don't think I've ever done that one. We did Tier 1 a lot. Maybe did Tier 2. But I don't remember doing... if we ever actually got through it. I do... my kin here, the Mythal League, which most-ish people in this raid are a part of, we do have our kin on... what is it? On Treebeard, but I don't know how active as an overall kin we would be, so I'd offer for everybody to join the Mythal League there, or they could form their own version of the Mythal League there. Just have some people of the original Mythal League here on Anor only occasionally play there, but that's the thing, I think for a lot of people it's more of a side thing, and this will still be our main server, kind of like maybe for a lot of people initially. For example, people that mainly played on Arkenstone, Blangerville, whatever other servers, if they went to Anor and Ithil as like a side thing, but they still kept their main server as their main server, unlike me, where Anor has honestly become my main server at this point. Could be like that, I guess. I don't know, I forgot where I started that sentence. This is a very weird firework. It let me jump up temporarily and that's like it pushed me off. I realized that was not safe. Don't know, I do have fireworks. I have a bunch of blue fireworks. Some sort of tree. I don't know if that's supposed to be a specific tree. Oh yeah, the questing, especially if you do a group in high tier difficulty, that's definitely a fun part I had on Treebeard, doing it just briefly even, just for the one evening. Little bit. What specific mechanic was that? Oh, I have not done that, so I don't remember it. They're talking about bringing a bomb. I'm familiar with that mechanic with Rocket Loss, to be honest. I do have a Discord server. Feel my server, I have it, and I try to be a little bit active there, but perhaps having a sort of kin tab there could be possible. This is a point where I have to actually listen to instructions. I forgot you could craft essences, something like that. I actually have a lot of universal solvents But you need an essence to do that. That is right at this point. I don't expect this raid to be too difficult, even on tier 1 on level, or even on level with tier 1 and perhaps. I, again, don't know for everybody in the group. For all I know, they could have really great gear. The benefit of my gear, I guess, is I built it in a way where I should have plenty of defenses while still capping or near capping on a lot of offensive stats. I have enough. Also realize I'm playing yellow line. I think I do kind of similar between red line and yellow line as far as performance goes, but I will stay yellow line for now. Oh no, Jacob. I don't even know if I want to think about that. There's a new LOTRO streamer called Louis 6. That is unfortunate for them because 6 is just an inferior number. This is where I'm usually standing when we do this over leveled, so I'm familiar with this position at least. I also realized I have not used consumables. I'm being a bad raid participant. I'm actually extra bad because I forgot to refresh my consumables. Okay, get my Warden stuff going, and then I want to get that one thing, seize the moment. And there are so many bleeds, I definitely will not be able to differentiate which are mine and which aren't. This is the unfortunate part. I have not played enough Warden, to be honest, to know exactly when it is a good idea to just give up on seize the moment and switch to melee. And yes, the Discord server is definitely available to the community. As far as I know, I have it linked in my description, I believe. Oh, I'm doing a very bad job right now. This is the problem with me playing yellow line. If I don't get seize the moment, that is when I have no idea what to do. Oh no, don't want to do the boot. Okay, we are now getting attacked by Rocco Boss. I should refresh my Javelin debuffs. Yeah, I'm probably going to have to switch to the red line. I don't think this is going all that well. The next fight I might use the yellow line. I say switching to the red line as I need to use a potion. Okay, gotta get back. I wonder if it's good to actually focus on the ads or just let your AoEs hit them. I'm used to just letting the AoEs hit them. Yeah, Yellow Warden is actually a thing that can be good. The problem is doing it in a raid situation like this. While I probably can play it, it's just something I am Where do we take the powder keg? I picked it up. Where does it go? Not near the group, but near the boss. Here it is. I don't know exactly what to do with the powder keg. I've never used that before. This, so far, I mean, I know I've died once and he's getting all his damage buffs. It looks like he is raging right now. But yeah, I didn't pay attention to exactly what killed us all. Yeah, so the thing with Yellow Wardens is it's also a lot better. I think there's a specific set, a raid set with the Rumor Chant that I have never actually had that makes it a lot better. Okay, go ahead and retreat with them. We're doing a little demonstration. So I think we're imagining this thing as the boss. That actually works. We need to stand on top of each other. And I'm going to switch to the red line of spec I'm more familiar with. Now the question I have, is there a way I can improve my gear since I built my gear setup for the finesse is probably useful. If I have one more essence, I would definitely equip this. I think I have plenty of morale though. I think I have enough morale that I can actually switch this. Because I think the finesse is the one thing I am really feeling like I am missing. So I'll go ahead and do that. I don't think the vitality is that important. With vitality, it is just stacking for survivability, give an extra cushion before I die. Alright, I'm going to try to get more consumables. Well, there's downtime as well. The big one? Yeah. Right. Oh, yep, the troll crusher. Alright. Yeah, it was a ground target. Okay, so while they're going over some of the instructions, I will actually look for... I don't remember the exact level of the food. I think it's 105. Better than nothing. Might have been. Sometimes if you search, I know the server probably just not much food in the first place, it looks like, but sometimes if you search too fast you just need to repeat your search. And I do not play on Evernight. I do have a character as far as the regular servers go on. I have plenty of characters actually on Arkenstone, but this is on Anor right now, doing not only Rockothos, I know Rockothos is farmed a lot at level 130, but doing the full raid, hopefully at least the full raid, on level. We got him down much more than we did earlier. So we're moving right here. We did get hope tokens, so that is good. I am in the red line this time, so I can contribute a little bit more, I think. Don't have spear sweeping yet on this red line build, but that is okay as far as I am concerned, to be honest. Somebody else already put the javelin debuffs up. We need to scoot up a little bit. We might need to scoot up a little bit on this side. See, this is why I like the red line. I can not pay attention quite as much to what I'm doing and just get a general order of my game that's off at least. Okay, so we have our tank now taking the damage. Melee. We need javelin debuffs, I think. Yep. There are 2 up here. Should I get both? Too far away. For some reason it is not being placed. There we go. I got it down. The troll disappeared. I was supposed to place it near a troll's dead body, but it disappeared. I guess I am getting both. Okay, I'm going to put the keg. I'll try right left side this time. I don't know exactly what the keg does besides maybe AoE damage or something like that. Okay, I need to get back with my group. That is definitely an important thing. I almost used my force taunt. That could have been bad. I don't think I've used my bleeds yet, and there's a situation where I skipped over on my abilities. We have them down to 1 million. I know we have a few people that are dead, but we do have them down to 1 million is the good news. And once again, I'm missing gambits there. I don't have my potions on this, on my bars. Hopefully we have the bleeds. I don't know if I could have survived if I used a potion. There it is. I don't know why it wasn't showing. I'll put 2 there as backup. And never surrender. Of course that doesn't work. I don't know if I actually got it down. Sounds like I got the killing blow. Wish you could hide your UI while dead. That would be good for screenshots. This is, I think, a pretty neat raid. I used to not think so much, to be honest. I think that's another reason I wasn't too interested in doing it way back in the day. Yeah. Yeah, I thought that. I guess whatever we got there, it's supposed to be on master loot, but everything was on auto loot. That was a little bit odd. Somebody got, it looks like a tarnished ring, 2-barter for a ring. I wonder if that ring is good. It's probably an essence one, but as far as I know, a lot of the flower stuff is better than the raid stuff like that. I think that is tier 2. Since we're running tier 1, I don't think they drop. As far as I know, at least. You can barter for like crystals and scrolls and the such. And a bunch of other stuff, I think. Yeah, the Moon Mac the Mumakil bosses, they are quite crazy. That is a very chaotic fight. Definitely, I would definitely count them as insane. We actually, so when we had about 6 people, and I think even a few of those 6 people were under-leveled when we tried this on Tier 1, like we are now. If anybody was here and remembers, I think, well, we did actually, we got a lot more progress on the Mumakil than that guy, because he would essentially one-shot us with his distributed damage, only having a few people. It's not that good, and we had a lot lower health. For example, I probably have twice my health I had back then. And that is true. I think for a lot of people in the group in general, they at least had more morale. Yeah, I think at one point when we did only have a few people, considered briefly me tanking and kiting. I don't remember if that ultimately happened. I think I was sticking on DPS. I do think I played yellow line for the ranged. But we'll probably cover the boss next. Oh, I'm in red line still. I was playing as if I was in yellow line. See, this is the type of fight I would actually like to be in yellow line, but it's not bad being in the red line by any means. It just means I used a couple of useless gambits there, basically. How much damage does that poison do? Decent amount. Looks like we have a bunch of enemies. This is again a situation, these type of AoE fights I love in the yellow line. See, a lot of people are maybe standing in front of these half trolls. I'm trying to stand behind them. They probably do some sort of frontal AoEs. I also think I might have aggro and stuff right now. Yeah, when Wardens were good tanks, that was a long time ago. That was when I was bad on a Warden. That's when I was learning Warden. People, actually somebody in the kin, or the person that plays the Guardian now, the kin leader, he was teaching me how to play a tank back then. I think I'm just spamming the same game that's over and over at this point. And that's the thing with the L line. It's kind of weird, and AoE fights like that, I like the little bit more variation, but in the red line what I tend to do is just spam the AoE gambits, and I'm not quite sure that it's probably the best, at least the way I was using them there. So it's kind of the opposite compared to something like boss fights. Alright, I think we need the Illoma down. That would help. And now my debuffs actually go in AoE, so I feel like it's a little bit more worth using those. Probably still worth using anyway, but... This is the really fun part of Yellow Line, is when you get Seize the Moment, especially for AoE like this, as I keep going on about. And I accidentally used the blue. My bleed. Time to go back to yellow, or not yellow, but range. Trying to see where blue... Okay, so yeah. Yellow Warden, I would say, is quite different compared to a blue Hunter. Just because Warden's different than everything, but Warden has a lot more AoE compared to Blue Line Hunter. I would think the potential for more damage than Blue Line Hunter. I don't know about Red Line Hunter. Sounds like the War Masters, Death Chancers, then Archers is the priority. So we actually have a target priority that I need to pay attention to. And I mispressed one of my gamuts there. Oh, I am on the General tab. I thought I was on that Combat tab because of all the messages going on there. And I keep missing, I talk about this whenever it happens, it seems like, but I keep missing Shift 1 today, and that's messing up a lot of the gamuts I'm trying to build. But one of the things with Warden that you can do is press all the gamut masters really quick, but sometimes if there's any little bit of lag, that definitely causes issues. In Keck, I have a level 130 Warden, Louisden, and I also have a bunch of level 120s, some tiny bit higher than 120 on Arkenstone. The reason I don't have more, there are a couple reasons, but one big reason is because I primarily play with this kinship, which is on Anor. I don't really play on Anor for Anor anymore, to be honest. It's more so for, that's where all the people I play with are. I think I did a spear sweep. I don't know if I actually did this one. That's where yellow line, especially if you do have the spear sweeping, which a bunch of trait points you'd probably have in the red line anyway. But that's where yellow line for a character at this level is quite interesting. I think we just have the single half troll. That is a time where I built that gamut Unduring Strike really quick. I'm surprised it didn't skip over anything at that time. 4 p.m. UK time. That is, as far as I know, a long time ago. This is... the Warcry line does not work at range. It is still melee. It's still AoE though, and does the same stuff basically. We're going over the instructions for the fight, so we're staying basically in this green area. Hopefully the fireworks aren't distracting. I'm getting so many notifications from different things. I don't remember what I said about the notifications, but due to the interview, oh, we got... Did we get respawns? I think they can get res. I don't know exactly what happened there. Yeah, Mumak as a mount would be very neat. We do have... Oh, this character doesn't have it. Talking about my level 130, that Warden has the little Mumak. That is one thing I really do like for that character on Arkenstone. I have a lot of stuff, I guess, just collected over time with. Argenstone, but for Luiden specifically, he does have the little Mumak. And I really like that, but having a Mumak as a mount, even one that big, that would be quite fun. Stretch my legs. There is somebody that is loud on Discord. I need to turn no. That's the nice thing about Discord. You can go 0 to 200% volume. Sometimes 200% isn't enough, but my goal with raids, or my objective with raids, I don't think I'm using the right word both of those times. My strategy, that is what I was looking for. My strategy with raids is to follow what everybody else does, since I have a hard time paying attention, especially when streaming. That is when I have a really hard time paying attention to instructions and things that are going on. That's why I always try to repeat, and that's what I did during like the Rift and that type of stuff. If y'all were here way back then, when my content was different, but that's when my channel was really starting to grow at that point. Okay, sounds like I'm pretty sure I will stick with Yellow Line. We'll try Yellow Line again for this fight. And it sounds like the target priority that was posted was for this boss fight. Looks like we have hope tokens and scrolls. Quick call on Landreval. I do have one character on Landreval. Don't really play there though. I have more than one character, I should say. I have characters on Landreval, but I don't play them. Arpong Dok. That is the one we are getting. We're standing right here. So one reason we are standing here is there are going to be some stampeding elephants or stampeding Nuakill later. And they follow certain paths, so this is supposed to be a safe area. Now we are going to deal with one of the Nuakill, and then the Captain Tank will just be kiting the other ones. Focusing on Arpong Dok. And somebody already applied their javelin debuffs. Okay, hopefully it is safe to go in melee. This is quite scary, to be honest. This is when I actually know what to do a little bit better with the Yellow Line Warden. Okay, get out of those areas. That is very important. No, with a big morale pull, it's maybe a little bit safer. This is a red banner, I want to be in it. Okay, back to melee. There are so many bleeds going on, I don't know which are mine. That is a problem with more than one Warden and just all the dots going on and not having an add-on to track that. Unfortunately, that seems to be a thing with LOTRO where add-ons can be very important feeling for a lot of people, I think, and I think beneficial for raiding. I know I don't do it, but it's something I'm trying to actually make myself eventually get an add-on other than plug-in analysis, combat analysis. There are tons of ads here. Okay, so we need to go with the target assist is unfortunately still on the movement kill. So I think a problem we ran into is we kept killing the boss instead of going immediately to the ads. actually paying attention to when the ads first come out and start on the ads immediately and stop focusing on the boss. Fabric, I do have a character on Treebeard. I have 2 characters actually on Treebeard, so I have already done that. I don't know about another new character. Running into something. There it is. Why am I feel like I've got way... facing the wrong way. Yeah, so Fan, at least it sounds like our thoughts are lining up with yours to kill the ads ASAP and they can multiply fast when you keep damaging the boss. I think we might have to kill some of these ads again, but I'm not entirely sure if we can sneak by or not. A nice cloak with the tree and fire on it. That is the one that this person has. We will try to find that out while trying to also pretend like we're helping in the combat. Okay, so it's not that cloak. Not that cloak. That cloak. It is, oh yeah, Cloak of Gondor's Aid. This is something I think from the legendary servers for doing the level 100 book quests in Minas Tirith and the such. For doing that on the legendary server, you got that cloak as a cosmetic reward, as an extra, essentially. Now to focus back on, if I have it, this is the actual reward, the armor reward, but again, you get the cosmetic on your character if you do it on one of the legendary servers, which at this point is just a Nor as far as I know. And I have no idea what gambits I have and have not used at this point. So let's just use this guy and switch. Keck, I have not bought the permanent stat boost homes. I am, 1, not a fan of supporting that, to be honest, and 2, I think the stats they offer, especially at really high levels, becomes quite insignificant, where I don't think it's even worth worrying about. I love it when LOTRO bugs in your weapon stays out. I have an itchy nose. I feel like I'm about to sneeze, but I'm not sure. That's kind of annoying. Yeah. Yeah, so about gifting things, that's one thing I do feel like they could maybe do with LOTRO, is have more gifting options and the such. And you can't gift VIP, I don't think you can gift expansions anymore. It sounds like something they were trying to work on adding, maybe something like that for gifting expansions. Perhaps they could have that ready for Gundabad. I don't know. That's something I didn't ask about in the interview, but was a potential question. I, of course, think of extra questions that seem like they could have been a good idea to ask after the interview. I think we have all buffs, except for me. I do have one Feast of Anorian I can use. I need to stretch my legs, which means sinking way down. Unfortunately, that's a little bit more of a relaxed position. One, for the face cam, I'm lowering it, which is not necessarily ideal, but the more relaxed position, I guess, is it's sometimes harder to do things in the game. Waiting. I think we have 2 of them over here. Some people are going ahead and hitting Kernupeg. Somebody still has Arpon dope targeted. Perhaps we can go ahead and damage them. I'm not sure it's the best idea to do PS right now, but we have ads. That is... Oh. Mainly waiting for the ads to come. I know we were doing almost like too much damage to the boss earlier, so that's what I want to avoid a little bit. We do have that, though. And this is what I know I personally missed last time, was actually focusing on the ads right away, except I used 2 Surety of Death there, which is maybe a little bit of overkill. Slightly inefficient, but that went down real quick. There's an archer behind. That is actually kind of annoying. Looks like we got the good Warden debuffs. It is, for me, 7:55 p.m. because I am in Central Time now. Okay. We have ads again. Okay, trying to hit all the ads with my AoEs. I don't know if quite... They are only elites, so there is maybe the small potential. Is that thing targeting? Okay, I don't think so. It seemed like it was, but perhaps I was like standing on the tank or something. I have a blue eye. What does a blue eye do? Oh, I have the attention of the boss. Okay. I can't really see right now. I wonder if that's one of those post-processing effects. I could have gotten rid of that blur by turning that off. This is a mess right now. At least I'm paying attention this time. I'm just running away because I have the eye for the Mumak. And I'm focusing on all these ads a little bit more. Except then my AoEs also hit the bosses anyway, but... I don't think I have the eye anymore for ads. Alright, Alright, we're doing the Hellfine Warden strategy of running away from everything. That's a lot of dots on the half-troll champion. Oh, don't want that, damn it. Oh, all the kill disappeared. I wonder if people are running back or what happened there. Why they reset. That's unfortunate. It seemed like we could almost have gotten that potentially. That brief stop in melee range almost got me killed. You get an eye where you get their... they target you. Kind of like that one raid. Baird Gondor, the last boss, I think. Yeah. Hopefully they get through this. Probably be quite hard on tier 2, would be my guess, man. Yeah, as far as I remember, this was one of the harder fights, even on tier 1 as well. It's quite a chaotic fight, a lot of things going on, and it's a huge area, and even outside of dealing with the movement kill, the 3 main bosses there, all the ads you have to deal with and get them quickly, and be careful to not damage the bosses too much, it seems like. At least that is my experience so far. It looks like we got in combat with something. There's an archer in the back that is. It is back here by the rest of the other ads that were behind the wall. Oh, that is weird. Glor, could you maybe try to run near him? I think he's targeting you. There's an archer here we're stuck in combat with, and he's targeting you right now. Still not on line of sight. He's no longer in his thingy, or at least temporarily wasn't. Hopefully we don't run into... there's all these other enemies right here. They seem fairly distracted, but... I hope we don't have to reset the whole raid. That would not be good. This is also a problem with a raid in an environment like this with a bunch of invisible walls and such. Is issues like this, I suppose, can happen. And yes, Fabric, it definitely is a little bit more of a challenge compared to doing solo stuff, and even easier content is streaming and raiding. Because I tried to keep up with chat and be active with that in streams always, but then I also have to pay attention a lot to the content. Yeah, I am close. Trying to fall through somehow. He's definitely bugged. just trying to get... He's out of line of sight, even though obviously I can see him in like an invisible wall or something. But it seems like there is no angle. Yeah, we might have to leave. Trying to get any sort of extra... Oh, I'm so close. Like, I'm trying to break the game to get... I don't even know if I can get out of this mess I got myself stuck in. Oh, that's a good idea. Oh, this way. This is the entertaining stuff that can happen during raid. So, yeah, it is safe to just leave. We had the person he was stuck in combat with leave first. Okay, I will go ahead and leave and make sure I come back. Yeah, Tier 1 does not have locks as far as I know on this. But we just have to make sure at least one person stays in, so I'm going to go ahead and quickly leave and come back to make sure. I have a blister on my thumb. I have no idea how I got this blister on my thumb. And it's very random that I just noticed it. This is not a pug. Well, it's sort of, it's mostly guild kinship. I left and came back, but I'm still in combat. Right. So, I don't know if this is a concern, but I know Throne does not have locks, so I think it would only reset though if you boot up another instance, so hopefully that is safe. I think that still should work. Oh, I sent that. Don't want that deleted. This is a problem with not logging into my alts. All their mail gets mailed back. Then I just don't use it or open it, and all that stuff is destroyed, is what sometimes, unfortunately, happens. Okay, sounds like we are good. Somebody came back in and they were out of combat, so that should be good. I'm going to check one thing. I just noticed when I zoned in, but it seems to have fixed itself. A lot of things were blurry for a moment there. At least seemed blurry. Low quality textures or something. Just wanted to make sure I had my textures up. That's usually, for me, as far as visual quality, one of the more important things. So the problem was, even when we had somebody leave and come back, we would be in combat. So we had to have everybody leave, but that was okay because unless you boot up another instance, it shouldn't reset, and it didn't reset in this case. So it worked out just fine. Have some horn-like emote. I don't know what it actually is. Banner Gondor. Let's try that one. It seems thematic for this place. It actually matches the cloak of that one person. Capo there. One thing while we're doing this, I need to use the restroom real quick, so I will be AFK for a moment. I think I do have my AFK message, so be right back. Alright, I am back. And, yes, the sky does look pretty cool here. That's why I try to, when I do have AFKs, and remember to take my AFK message off, but when I do have AFKs, I try to leave neat views at least. I thought that was a pretty neat view. Hello, Thomas. So I was making sure I caught up, was catching up at least with everything in chat, and one other thing you said, Fabric, is about the multitasking, raiding and streaming at the same time, and then especially as a Warden, that is especially true. With a Warden, it is extra tough, also because my push-to-talk button is Z, but I have to use the same fingers I use to push Z with Control and Shift, because I use those for the Gambit Masters, and the Gambit Masters are very important, so that is what goes on with that. And I realize I am quite hungry right now. This also happened in my last stream where I was getting really hungry in the evening. Perhaps I haven't been streaming in the evenings enough, and I've gotten too used to eating at this time. Oh wow, these guys count for my far Anorian Beast Slayer deed. That is amazing. Can double my progress in the advanced deeds just by finishing this fight. I hear a Runekeeper healing me. Who is it? We only have one Runekeeper, so that narrows it down. I like that Runekeeper outfit. It's the same one I actually got for my Lore Master, but I like it on a Runekeeper as well. Alright, since they were healing me, they're the first one that gets my gear inspection, and we will see if they get approval. Actually, I have to say for the tactical classes, that's probably still not good. But the main stat not virtues, I keep saying virtues. Main stat essences, for anybody that doesn't know, they're not ideal, so if you have other options, it's usually better to use the other options. But it looks like they have a lot of flower gear, so it should be good on their stats, as far as I know, looking at all their stuff here. But I know for a lot of people, even myself, is it really depends on your availability, your resources you have. So for a lot of people, in my experience, at least people I play with, is that their stuff isn't always optimal or ideal. So yeah, it's usually about maximizing the resources you have. And I feel like that is, for me, one of the fun, I guess, strategizing parts about building my characters and getting all the stuff with them. And there's so much stuff going on with the interview. Andrew McKinnon, he said you just joined, but congratulating me on the good job interviewing Raininia, and thank you for that. A lot of people, again, seem to like it. It was pretty fun overall. It makes me want to do another interview like right away, because now I have it all fresh on my mind, ways that I could improve it. One is not having my microphone so far away. And two is maybe doing a little bit of a different style one. I thought that was pretty good overall. Raininia, of course, the focus is to have Raininia do most of the talking, definitely, but a potential thing is more of a conversational type interview. But it was kind of like Raininia was too good at talking, where that didn't quite work out. I think we are about to get started. Okay. Yeah, Runekeeper healing. I didn't see much what that comment was about, but it's quite fun. So let's let the tanks do their thing. We'll let things settle. So we're still going after a Prongdok. So with Ugly Bushes, I thought about it, but ultimately did not. If I ever do, somebody mentioned interviewing scenario earlier. I don't know if he's had any work on Ugly Bushes, but I will, if I get somebody like that, I will definitely ask them about Ugly Bushes. Preferably not in that rude of a way. Oh, ads do not attack boss. I need to switch to range stance. I really like I was standing in all those. I am fortunate I didn't die. That was a bad mistake by me standing in all those. I feel like I was just standing in a few overlapped circles. Range safeguard. Okay, got a range resounding challenge. There are ads heading to Banna. Yep. They were on Banna. I got a couple of them, I think. And I think Banna's almost dead. I did not mean to use Goat there for anybody that is curious why I used Goat in that situation. Not Goat, Goad in that situation, as it was unintentional. That happens with gambits and lag sometimes. There are so many ads right now. One issue that I mentioned last time is AoE still hit the Mumek. The Mumek kill. And I don't know, people in the group don't seem to be doing particularly bad, at least I'm paying so much attention on the ads and running away, kiting them. Go ahead and use this. I don't have Never Surrender up, let's put it up. Oh, I have so many ads attacking me. I feel like a tank. I feel like I'm a whole line Warden tank right now. There's a stampeding Mumek. They killed me. Hello, Nathan Philip Connors, and thank you about the interview. I thought it was pretty great as well, besides the audio issue, which if you weren't here for that, basically my microphone was a little bit far away and I was talking perhaps a little bit extra softer and quieter than I should have been. Oh, if I'm playing Yellow Line, I can get a little bit extra vitality. About 2k more morale, I think. Almost with that. Or maybe a little bit more, I don't know. Anyway, with Runekeeper healing, Ricky said it's easier if you get a mob up close and, yeah, you can stun and then move and go back in heals and bubbling all of such. Corey Olsen, I have heard that name before. They are something lore related with LOTRO. I don't know exactly what they do. if I remember correctly. I'm very slow with chat today, I feel like, partially because of the raid, but I'm just like find random message that I completely miss. He is the Tolkien lore guy, okay. That's why I at least did associate him with Tolkien lore. Or, I don't know if it's actually Tolkien. I've heard some people call it that way, and some people just call it Tolkien. I don't know the actual proper way to pronounce it. Okay. So he's the Tolkien lore guy, and he plays LOTRO too. I don't know about, that would be interesting because, as you all probably know, my main source of lore with Lord of the Rings is with LOTRO. Yeah, the Treebeard server, it's, I think it's surprisingly populated. I guess there's interest from people who may have missed Anor and the such on launch, and maybe people who like the Anor and Ithil Legendary server that wanted that early experience again. That's why I am concerned with the longevity of the servers, how long the player counts will last on them, because I suspect, kind of like Anor and Ithil, is that the population on them will drop, especially when Rohan comes. I could actually see this being less of an issue on Shadowfax, because with Shadowfax it goes faster, so the Rohan areas go faster. Maybe people won't feel like they run out of stuff to do as much with those two. I would say Riders of Rohan and Helm's Deep is when that happened with my kin, not only because it lasted way longer, but just because there's less content. And that is when my kin, we were really going forward with our progression group, actually, where we did Ingmar, then Moria. You all saw, I think, a decent chunk of Moria, a good chunk of Moria with my Beorning, which was quite fun tanking that. Looks like we have one person we're waiting on. Don't mean to single that person out or anything, but there is one person we are waiting on right now. So with an interview like that, I could just ask like how the books are different from the game, and then maybe if somebody were to start reading some areas of the game that reflect the books well. Okay, yeah, I think there's some interesting questions like that, potentially. Wow, Fabric, you have gone. Let's see. Trying to get the right words. You've been doing a really great job at forming a community on Treebeard during the stream. Nice to see. There was nothing, Carlos, about, as far as I know, a 4K UI fix. This is something that has come up over and over and over again, it seems like, in other Q&A and I guess more official streams from the actual LOTRO team and like the Court of the Rings, his weekly series. It comes up on that, and when they do the Severland Q&As, it always comes up on that. And they keep basically saying they know it's an issue and they want to do it. Perhaps if I asked Renania, he might have had more information on it. That's why I try to, topics that have come up over and over like that, I try to ask specifically, like timetables, plans, that type of stuff. And didn't ask too many of those questions overall, I feel like. Yeah, old content is fun for me as well in LOTRO. That's why I'm excited to get back to Treebeard, which I'm I'm thinking, as far as this weekend goes, there are a lot of video ideas I want to do, but I also feel like playing LOTRO. I feel like playing on Treebeard tomorrow, so I'll probably stream. Trumpet, that is the emote, not the horn. There is a horn type emote. I have seen the Nerd of the Rings channel come up. Perhaps one thing I could do to learn lore, since I'm not interested in reading the books and have been lazy, I guess, about actually getting back to watching the movies, is to do something like a channel like that. Let's get the ill-omened hound out. And consumables, I do have a few. Audiobooks, I'm not sure that would be something I'm quite into. Okay, give the tanks a moment to do their stuffs. I think we're still going for Afrong Dok. I was worried that stomp would kill me. I'm used to things like that doing essentially one-shot type damage. How do I have aggro on that guy? I know he's targeting somebody else. That is really weird. I don't think I've hit that guy. Except for, I don't even think I used Warcry right there. We do have ads. I have no idea why this guy's on me. He's on that guy now. It's running away. Okay, still focusing on the ads. That is my entire goal right now. I'm using bad stuff. The bleed. I don't think this is going well. I just realized about over half the group is dead and I am kiting these two movement kill. I don't know if they're slowable. If they are, that's pretty funny. I'm just going to run away. Gotta avoid the trampling movement kill as well. I don't know if there's anybody alive on this side of the battlefield. Oh, there we go. They finally got me. I tried to run away from everything and do that. I don't know if I'm resable. And I'm in combat. That is not good. Looks like this is the area where we're killing the leftover ads, and that's why I shouldn't have retreated there. I can't see the fabric. What link are you wondering to invite to what? Is it on the Discord or in like the YouTube chat? Because I don't think links are supposed to work on the YouTube chat. There's a link. I did check my Discord server. There is a link there from Maythorn. We're going north this time. We're trying, I think this is the strategy we used a while ago, and it was relatively successful, actually. So hopefully it's more successful than what we have had so far. Somebody is way back here explaining where we should be, and we are all here. And yes, it is my Discord. The Louis 7 Discord, the one with Gandalf there. Can use my consumables. Alright, this time I will make sure I use Hope Token. I have too many. I can do scrolls for my group, it looks like. I have some. Maythor, that is fine for building a community off my fans. I would join, but again, we have our own version of Mithril League on that server. It's like the extra slow Mithril League. Once again, going to let the tanks do their thing and try not to hit things too much right now. Don't want to AoE because then it could hit the other mech. That was a scary stomp. That's cool. Do a little bit of damage now that we don't have the other Mumek. We have the trampling guys, but I think we're supposed to be safe here in this rock area. Ads, that's definitely important. I need to get rid of my poison. Pretend I'm a hunter. That is kind of what I'm doing, playing just ranged Warden here, not doing too much DPS since the entire focus right now is on the ads. And ideally, like right now, hitting the ads without. The Mumak and AoE, that's actually ideal, I feel like. Somebody died. Vanna died. That is not good. More ads. This is a mess. I don't think I should be here. Might need to use a health potion, but I'm not sure. We got a couple down. We did kill one of them. That kill, I think. Oh, that stampeding guy is very scary right there. That's a bunch of circles too. Oh, we still have 3 up. Okay, and kiting, that is another thing. We were talking about Warden earlier and push to talk. But kiting is another one without hitting, clicking my skills. Shouldn't have used a potion there, there was no point. I try to get him down. He is 160,000. I just feel the need to get one of them down. Alright, Maythor, and thank you for joining the stream. And it sounds like we're doing our AFK. I did my little get up and actually AFK earlier. So what I can do is either get ready for the boss. I can do that anyway. And hello, Pimsri, I think is the name. Yes, you popped in during our struggles with the Mumak kill and Throne of the Dread Terror here. Fun struggles. The fight is chaotic enough that it is entertaining, even with this. Trying to think something we can do. Other than just sit here, so I could go out of the instance and do something. How about flower stuff? We can do that. Don't need to necessarily be here since we're waiting for people anyway. We have, I think it is 8:45 server time, or not 8:45 my time, 9:45 server time when we're grouping back up. But I wanted to plant some more seeds, try and get one more flower daily done, then turn that in and see if I get enough. I forget exactly, I did this specifically a long time ago to see what you would get from doing the flower daily. Well, I forgot exactly what you get from the pouch of Athelian essence fragments. I think it is 2 essence fragments, which isn't that good, to be honest. Another thing I can look at is the kind of laggy right now. Have to check my CPU usage, which is normal looking, which means for LOTRO it's at like less than half usage. For anyone curious, right now my CPU i7-7700K is at 4.5 gigahertz, as it basically always is, but the utilization in LOTRO is maybe about, yeah, bouncing around 30 to 50%, seems like. Probably closer to 35% on average, it seems like. But anyway, let's go ahead and get a couple more of these. Don't think I need buckthorn. I need to plant seeds. That is, I'm pretty sure what I'm doing. What, turn floating names on? So Laura, you just started playing and you have a level 10 captain. And yes, as far as active community on YouTube, at least I have one as far as LOTRO goes. I'm glad you have found me as well. Hope you enjoy the content. As a new player, what I am doing and ignoring all this stuff might seem weird, I feel like, but not really interested in getting those flowers right now. More so interested in planting seeds so they can become flowers to get this quest done. Probably would be worth getting on a mount at this point. That is a good question. Which server do you happen to be playing on? I've heard a few people that have started playing the game new or returning from a long time ago have chosen one of the new legendary servers. Usually it is Treebeard. I've not heard many people choosing Shadowfax, but for some people, a smaller portion of people, it seems like Shadowfax does have its appeal. Treefax? That is weird. Talking about Shadowfax and then Treebeard is the other server, and I randomly see Treefax, a combination of those two. Perhaps that's just their way of referring to both these servers at once, the 2 new legendary servers. I must have already planted these seeds, because that fertile soil cannot interact with it anymore. There should be one more fertile soil, looks like right here. Yeah, captains are... I know some people who like leveling them solo, but for me, they're one of the slowest classes, I think. Slowest and lowest damage. And that is, as I share basically every time, because all their stuff is for group support. So if you like playing in a group, they have a lot of benefits with that, but that does mean, so that they aren't overpowered in a group or extra overpowered in a group, their solo stuff is scaled back compared to other classes. This is a nice time in North Ithilien, kind of closest to sunset time. How many more minutes did we have? Okay. I was sneaking in my last flower daily, so I might have an extra essence by the time I get back. Oh, classic, wow. That was... I got back with that with Burning Crusade, but I was playing it mainly with somebody who's on my channel sometimes, Dan's Adventures, and we haven't had a time that has quite lined up with that. I honestly had more interest in that game, but the past couple weeks it just has kind of waned with me, unfortunately. Unfortunately, as far as that game goes. Also starting Final Fantasy XIV, I'm still excited to get back to that game, but I have been, I would say the past week, have been more in the mood for LOTRO than I was. It's something that I think it's just natural with games. Your interest in them can go up and down, of course. I got 1 essence fragment. That is really bad, to be honest. I was hoping for a lot more, but I don't think that's anywhere close to an essence, unfortunately. There's another way to get essences. I think I need to go to Minas Tirith to look at that. We will go to post-battle Minas Tirith. So yes, Lorelyn would be the big roleplay server. I went to the wrong location. We need to go to Minas Tirith. Hiccups. Here we go. One of these guys I keep hiccuping. Not this one. I think this is mostly raid stuff. Stuff we're doing right now could give people a chance to get some of this stuff. Pelennor Scout, don't think this is it either. I want to check all these vendors before I move on. That's not it. I think it is this set over here.
Dark skies, dark tidings.
Featured challenge. This is 115 stuff. This is regular featured instance, which I haven't done. Actually, this might be regular featured instance, I think. Which I have not done much of, but there's the level 105 stuff with that. I haven't looked into it, how it is after all the stat changes and the stuff over time. This is the Morgul quest. Trying to combine Morgul Crest and Quest for some reason, but Morgul Crest. This is where I can get these. And then there's also Grave Dusted Box to select which type, or which you want if you get one of those, okay. Let's see. There's Legendary Essence Recipe. Oh, you could get Finesse from that. But that is Jeweler. Yeah, parry and crit rating one might be okay, but yeah, that is not what I was looking for. So it does not look like there's anything I would ideally want to do to get these essences. Unfortunately, you can't just get essences doing the group content. That's how I would personally rather acquire stuff like that. That is, as I have talked about with... Let me get somewhere... Actually, I can stay here, but we will go... I am stuck outside and I lost my thing to join. Too slow. They were trying to boot me, but I left real quick. But that is basically the strategy to... if your instance things pops up, you just kick that person, or they leave the group before you can kick them, and you can get back in. Yeah, so with Captain, you can get some titles surviving every 5-ish levels. I don't even remember the exact levels, but... But yeah, I think the last one, as Fabric mentioned, is level 20. It might be 19, kind of randomly 19 and not 20, but around 20-ish. Uh-oh. Did I start it? Oops. I don't know if I started that. I feel like I had to have started that. That's scary. thought one was chasing me for a moment, but I don't think I have hit much of anything. I'm not trying to do too much damage, even though he's damaging Gambit, so I was going to try to get myself built up. I realized probably wasn't the best idea. Unfortunately, the fight started early. I don't know if it was the path of travel I took. I thought I was hugging the wall and the such. Oh, token. At least favorite zone. I forget what my favorite zone is. Was it Inadwaith or was it... No, it was Eregion. Eregion's my favorite zone right now. At the current moment, that's what I'm most in the mood for. Fortunately, our Runekeeper went down there. There are ads, so now I can do stuff. Oh, that is bad. I just decided to walk here, and I got stuck. Yes, the difficulty definitely does bump at certain levels. One big one that I am aware of is potentially level 60 to 65, but that's not the big one. But level 85, it seems like with Helm's Deep West Rohan, that's a big jump for a lot of people, and that was my experience with some of my alts. This character and my Runekeeper, mostly noticeable on my Runekeeper though, that there was a difficulty jump at that point, and then I would say Mordor, it's not as bad as it used to be, but there's some stuff 105 to 110-ish, and an issue that you can run into there is not necessarily a huge like sudden difficulty jump, but more so with the legendary items. You just have to really keep up with that, otherwise your character can get really weak and you might need to essentially grind for stuff to boost your LI, and that is something that they are actually fixing, working on, it sounds like, for the future. And I think it is time to... maybe not quite time to turn my lamp on. The sun is hitting my blinds right now. I think we're retreating. Hopefully I don't cause issues this time. I feel like I caused the issue that time since I was the only one running there. Yeah, the Light of Verindel, that to me isn't a fun system. Oops. Sorry for the loud noise there, but yeah, Light of Verindel is not a fun system to me. It's more of an annoying, feels like a gear gaining system. Like, I get the idea that Mordor's supposed to be impressive and all that, but I would rather the content just be a little bit more difficult than you have to make sure you get up your Light of Verindel and all that, personally. Okay, this time I am not going to get separated. We'll wait for everybody else to get here. Let's see. I have no idea how to ban somebody on YouTube. I have not had to do that before. All it says is put user in timeout, remove, report. I reported one, but that didn't do anything. Hide, there it is. Instead of saying ban, it just says hide user on this channel. Oh, I think my chat is lagging. Apparently things were going through, but it was... Okay. I'll keep it at that. Anyway, Fabric, you said Abyss Raid was a waste of time and dev time. Oh, no one can run it with keeping old light gear. I didn't even get that far, to be honest, with Mordor, to know that Abyss had that. That sounds actually extra worse to me. unfortunately. I'm going, when these servers go to Mordor, I'm going to try to like it. Like I have with Gondor and Rohan, I will go with the mindset that I will try to like it. I think we are changing our strategy to have 3 tanks instead of 2 tanks right now. Yeah, that's, I think, what I was going on about. If the raid is locked behind Light of Arundel, I'm not a big fan of that. That is a true thing that I've realized on Louisden, I think it was, that you do get that Light of Arundel kind of automatically. So it sounds like maybe 2 jewelry pieces with light essences is how you can do that raid over leveled. I remember just walking into Mordor and noticing that that effect was basically gone. I have no idea if people even like the Abyss raid. It's something I didn't hear much about compared to Throne of the Dreadtear, which I heard a lot of mixed things about. Probably because I noticed a lot of negative stuff, because I personally wasn't a big fan of this raid, actually. But now I don't, I guess my opinion on it has changed over time. So far, based on my experience, they're the things I disliked in the past, not so much so now. Okay, that one is targeting Bana, and the other one is targeting the other tank, hopefully, so we can start on this guy, but I'll probably try to get some single target in while I can. I would think the Runekeeper already has that. They could also do one of the captains, because captains can get double reses. I guess it's time to find out if I can tank this. I do have the blue eye. Just a heads up for the healers. I don't know why my javelin throws are going to that one. It's weird. Or maybe it wasn't my javelin throws. Get out of those circles. That's a lot of circles right there. I think Guardian tanks can still be quite decent as far as I know. We have ads. Oh, some of them got stampeded, it sounds like. That's scary. That's why, yeah, we need to stay here. I think some of them got caught a little bit far out there. We have a lot of ads right now as well. I am in melee stance, so that is not the best game. I might get caught by a stampeding. Coming back now. We do have our tank back up, actually. Yeah, and I might mess that up anyway. Okay, so I think there's a certain ad that gives this buff, and I don't know where it is. Somebody's targeting it, the War Master. That is the one I want to focus on right now. That's actually a nice relief when we get the Umakill to go away. There's a stampede incoming. Yeah, it goes really close. Okay, I can try. I'm doing this strategy. Conviction. Is Conviction the heal? Actually, forget that one by name. Oh, damn it. I think that one's the heal. Yeah, I have not been using that too much. I don't know, spamming that would be that good. When nothing's going on, I can definitely use the defensive buffs, but I'm not sure the tactical mitigation. Maybe I'm getting tactical hits, some of the poisons, but they're not doing that much. Yeah, it's some poison, not that much. Most of it is physical attacks there against me. Alright, so to catch up with chat in Abyss, that is run sometimes for lore pages. Get the Mordor bookshelf still. I do see people compared to Abyss, I guess, running Anvil of Winterstith more, which I also did not run that one. So the heal on Conviction is really weak. I don't think it's worth using just for the heal, especially when I had just myself and 2 others, but the heal on it is really weak, and as far as spamming it, I don't think it is worth spamming that for the weak heal on potentially a Runekeeper, a Hunter, and myself, and now the Burglar. Even for me, the heal isn't that good. This one would also do damage if I use Restoration and heals a little bit more. And yes, we are definitely getting far away from each other. I think when these circles come, people spread out and then don't go back to the cubbyhole, and we're getting trampled and the such. The Horn skill. Is that the one where you get a speed boost, I think? Or that is a pretty fun one. Personally, I do wish captains actually had more horn skills. I feel like it's something they could utilize. Hello, Jonathan Amos. Hopefully you will bring us good luck here. We do have a hope token already in this group. We have 1 scroll. We have 1 scroll in this group. That is ancient battle lore. So I'd want warding lore. I don't know if they have a better one. It looks like whatever battle lore we have is a pretty weak one. I will, since the captain just joined, I'll overwrite both of those. Yeah, unfortunately, when we all die, that is usually when I kite, if that's what y'all are talking about. When I kite at the end when everybody is dead. I do that just to survive, because I definitely cannot survive everybody in melee. That would also be pretty neat for a captain, a long cooldown skill to summon a few NPCs. That seems like it would be in flavor of a captain. Like you say, calling in soldiers. We do have a good hope token though. We'll see if anybody has added food to the auction house. None of that. Yeah, hopefully we keep going over that. The people in the Discord chat keep going over basically the same thing, where just talking about after we get these circles and spread out for that so we don't get one shot essentially of those, to group back up in the little cubby hole. It seems like the movement kill there, whatever sort of AoEs they potentially have, stomps and the such, are not as bad as like the warband, the roving threat movement kill that you see on the open world landscape. So perhaps that's the thing, people, even myself, used to that, so want to stand behind them, but it seems like we can just group up all fine. But hopefully, that is what will happen this next time. Oh, one thing I do want to point out, we covered this, but like after these circles and we might spread out, it's, I guess, important to group back up in the cubby hole. I think it's fine even if we're all standing in whatever potential AoEs with them. Because I also noticed when I had the eye and I had a Mumak attacking me, it didn't really do that much damage, so it seems to be tankable as well. Squeaky chair. That was another thing I talked about, this chair being the whatever material it's made out of, upholstered in, is bonded leather and being very sweaty and not that good for temperature. And perhaps a mesh chair, replacing this with a mesh chair for that, but also this chair is squeaky now. Did y'all get the link? Okay, they get in. Okay, I was going to send a link, but looks like they got that. So we have 4 captains actually, and we have oh yeah, wait, don't move out. Let the... Yeah, unfortunately we can't determine what everybody in the group is going to be. And we have 2 of the captains going off with the other movement kill, so we are essentially stuck with 2 captains here. This is the time I can use conviction. God seize the moment. Some people are going full on the DPS. It's a bit of a DPS race at the same time we're sitting here. Oh, my camera angle is messed up. I almost... Wow. A lot of people... But kind of odd that this is a DPS race and we wait for the movement kill to settle before actually DPSing. I think we should be getting ads. Oh, I did hit it. I don't know if that did any sweeping, but I did get a hit on it. Should have ads. It feels like, to me, as far as the DPS race part goes, is... As far as the ads go, that's what it feels like from my experience so far in the raid. Let's see, I need to use my morale taps. Where is... They have the War Master target, okay. I wonder if I was hitting it that whole time. Oh, I almost got knocked back into that Rain of Arrow stuff. Don't want to hit that archer. I'm trying to hit. There's the War Master. Removing lots of poisons. I think I have potions. They're just not on my bar. Oh. I think I got trampled. That one got the... No, I got hit by one of the big mimic kill. Somebody else got stampeded anyway, and they were right next to me anyway. I don't think so, Fabric. If people did have more DPS, they probably would, but we'll take what we get as far as this goes. Somebody talked about Pelennor, that being like a Friday night thing, but it does look like a lot of people are in Pelennor right now. I have a Runekeeper I could switch to, but I don't know. He's lower level, not that well built, and I don't think it would provide much of anything. Oh, so is there distributed damage in this fight? I did not know there was distributed damage. That could be a big factor. Last time we had like 3 people very early die by the Rain of Arrow. Okay, so we will be, instead of the cubby hole, we will be in the dead, not as ugly bushes. No distributed here. Uh-oh, I am worried I was about to crash there. I'm going to turn my lamp on real quick while we're waiting. And now, there's light. So for transmog, essentially cosmetic, or for the, should I keep items I loot or sell them? For T-Mog, I don't think we, somebody else might have used a hope token. The 2 captains in our group don't have hope. Hope token. I am getting close to 10,000 subs, but what's more exciting is I'm getting close to a almost more exciting number of subs, which is 7,777 is coming up. Okay, so I think SDPS we're supposed to move to the bush, which was here. And I accidentally used Fierce Resolve. Yeah, T-Mog, that is Transmog and WoW. That's why I'm not quite fully understanding the question. As far as the cosmetic system in LOTRO, you have to keep any items you want glad you think I am the best LOTRO channel, Fabric. And sometimes it is hard work. There we go. Make sure I'm extra far out of the way. Okay, back up. There's a trampling elephant. We'll probably get ads in a moment. Oh, if items... Oh, the items appear. Some of them could potentially be gone forever, but you might be able to... For certain items that just drop in the open world, you can farm them. Dungeon drops, you can of course farm them, but they might be hard to get. See, as a new player, I'm trying to think the... Oh no, my potion didn't go off. And I clicked that potion a long time ago. I do also try to keep a different variety of content. And Jonathan, I am not the only warden in this group. One thing I have thought about is we have two captains dealing with the Mumakil. The two of them, and potentially it would be more useful to have one of his wardens and go kite both of them. Especially because of, I guess you can range tank and such like that while you kite them. I have not done that, but it's something I'd be willing to try to get something different. But then I guess an issue we could run into is not enough damage. I don't know if I'm contributing that much AoE damage, but... Looks like this could be one of our better runs. We still have a full group plus one alive. They just have all three Mumakil there. But they almost got one down. I think we got it down to around 100,000 before. But yeah, sometimes that happens with server lag. And it seems to happen, maybe notice it more frequently when it's like an emergency to use a potion. So one thing is, since we have two captains going on the two Mumakil, would it be useful to have one of the wardens tank both of them at once and kite? Yeah, I haven't done that before, but I'd be willing to try potentially. Make sure, I think I already have like all my tankiest gear on anyway, but just double check there's nothing tankier that I happen to have in my inventory. This is, I would say a little bit tankier, but that's a ton of vitality, and I don't know the other stats on it are all that great, where it's actually worth picking that. Tank split them, turn them, and nuke. I'm not sure, Fabric, that could be possible. Yes, you can only have one unit of the call to arms type skills, something the banner guard type things. Yeah, it's a throwback back to Rift of Ner'zgashu. Except that was tier 2. We gotta work up to that. Yeah. Accidentally ran out and there are none on the auction house. I meant non that type. I meant the resistance and stat type. Non-stat. I meant non-region type, anyway. That's... So, Fabric, you always did this all grouped and fight them where we are now. Did you... What I'm curious is if you rush down... Yes. Both, if you have them. I ran out of both of those. Even... Okay. I will just... This is good. Oh, wait, who had that trade up? I can use the Anorian Feast and the soup, both of those. So yeah, DPS is definitely a possible issue. And yeah, when they start rampaging and we get all the ads, that is quite tough. So it sounds like, I think you mean champions there maybe, but you have, I guess the optimal route to run this could be a yellow minstrel, and then Runekeeper, also good bubbles with them, and then 2 yellow champions, maybe you mean captains, but 2 yellow champions could definitely be good for the AoEs on all these little guys. And then Zeph, you said there's a spot on the opposite side of the field where you can stand and the Moomax will barely hit you since they will be walking back and forth for the eyes and such. Okay, so are you talking about as a tank, as I am kiting? I should go to the opposite side? Okay, I got the food. No, somebody gave them. Now I can eat up all my food. And we have hope tokens and all the other such. Yeah, I remember Rind, I think it was around this time, Rind being like a very strong debuff, not just the damage over time part, but I thought I remember it being like a really strong debuff, and they might have nerfed it at some point, if I remember correctly. Yellow Mini has huge DPS buff. I'm trying to remember what that is. I know they might have... I know they have more buffs compared to like a blue line minstrel. Perhaps we could... I will ask about that. One more possible thing is if we have a couple blue captains, could the minstrel perhaps go yellow line for better buffs? Since we have a couple blue captains, I think, could the minstrel go yellow line, possibly, for stronger buffs? I was wondering if the minstrel could. That would be Glor, I think. Wait, let's see. I quite like that outfit. I think I already mentioned that I like the robe. That's the same one I have on my Runekeeper, but the hat that goes with it, which is not on display right now. They have their hooded cloak, but I think it's turned off. The hat matches Advanced Hat. We have a Runekeeper on heals, and we have at least 2 captains, maybe even 3 captains on heals, which is kind of crazy, but I actually don't know what all the captains are spec'd at this moment. Okay. So, am I standing, like, going on the far southeast east side is where I'm kiting them? I guess I'm kiting them around a safe area there. Okay. Yeah, I see by those rocks it looks like. Alright, I am ready, actually. I might have run out of time. I am ready. Okay, should I taunt all 3, I suppose? Oops, did not mean to use that potion. Problem with clicking. Okay, using my prep gamuts real quick. Okay, going. Okay, I should have them taunted now. Just in case somebody put a bleed on them for some reason. I could maybe. I guess the concern would be aggro. I wanted force taunts. But this was just to try something new for now. So I want to go far east and kite them around. The map is kind of hard to see, but there's a little safe area like right in here. I think they're still targeting me. It's okay if they run away. But yeah, around these rocks area, I don't know exactly where it is since again I have not done this. But I think around this area. And then do I stay here when they start going around crazy? They aren't even fighting me. I think that's one benefit of taking them so far away is people get eyes and they will just be in the middle doing nothing. I guess I could run around a little bit, get some starter heals. We have stampeding guys though. Yeah, they're hardly even hitting me right now. I'm in tank spec, right? I know I'm in range stance. It's almost like I actually am range tanking. It feels like that. My morale gets quite high in the tank spec now. Not used to having this much health as a warden. Looks like we have had one hunter die. I can't observe all the chaos, so I'm just observing these Mimikill, not deciding what they want to do. I have ads on me. Should I take the ads back? Yeah, I might die here. Shit. I had, I don't think they have noticed that I have died. I have died, and there were ads on me. Okay, so, Fabric, you think, like, bursting down the Mimikill and not focusing on the ads? Just to clarify, I want to make sure that is what you mean, go full, like, DPS for the entire fight and have everybody in the same position? And ignore the ads? Okay, so one more option, it sounds like, could be to just try to burst the Mimikill down and have all three of them on us, and maybe an extra tank to keep one or two of them away, like slightly away on the same area though. Okay, yeah, that's just a suggestion I was given to, I don't know, try to burst them all down instead of like focusing on the ads, ignore the ads essentially, and just try to get the Mimikill down real quick. Because we have, I don't know, I guess some of the captains were playing yellow line, but for an extra tank, that could be an option, and just make sure we have two red captains, I guess. I feel like Warden would be best utilized, especially after the last thing when I got the ads. Didn't know that would be a part of kiting the Mimikill, is that I would get some of the ads. Okay. Oh. Which were we doing? What were we going with? Okay. We're going with the kiting option. Again, it sounds like. Warden bleeds definitely are amazing. I wonder, I don't know if I could safely go yellow line with this. Is there a, oh, there is a VIP boost beacon going on right now. I did not know that. My legs are, usually it's not my legs that get sore sitting this long, but it's only been like 3 hours, and I've even gotten up twice, but oh no, my legs are deciding to get sore recently for sitting. Hey Buckalonius, Final Fantasy 14 is fun so far. I'm excited to get back to it. Okay, it's like I am good to go. I did not know you got ads this early. Okay, this time I should actually have them. There are also ads over here. Once again, I got ads. I did not know that there were ads at the start of the fight, actually. Still learning new stuff. I'm guessing my actual strategy should be to kite them and not hit them the whole time, but maybe with a healer, I can get some damage in. I don't have a healer right now, actually. But even then, maybe I can get some damage in. I don't know if I can slow them, I forget. That is not a possibility, okay. Trying a slightly different strategy this time for tanking. Fabric, you need me in LOTRO. Okay, so if I get ads again, should I run them back to you all? This time I have the eye of a Mumak. Okay, I'm actually taking a lot of damage now, we'll see. My morale seems to be not safe. I am now. Not this time. See, never surrender. Healed me, but didn't. So I could go back and get heals, then bring them back out? That would be an option. I know that time I wasn't kiting, I was trying something slightly different. But I don't think it was worth all that damage anyway. So Bach, you said you have decided to try Final Fantasy 14 as well. What I'm curious is, how are you enjoying it? Because I found it quite fun. I haven't made too much progress. I forget what level I am, but what level I am with my current job. I guess at this point it's still technically a class or something, but anyway. Oops. Hey. Okay. Sounds like we have about one more try. So, I thought back in the day that Tier 1 didn't have locks. Does it actually have locks now? Okay. Yeah, the first boss was quit. Alright. What strategy were we going to try this time? That is how I understand it. With at least 2 tanks, I think, though. Still don't have everybody here. Okay, T1 does have no luck. I didn't think it did. Okay, one concern I did have just Final Fantasy being an Eastern MMO is that I might not like the art style, but I don't mind it right now. And so far I do enjoy the MMO gameplay as well. I haven't gotten to my first instance dungeon yet, but as far as I understand it should be coming up soon. And I'm also going to be trying the different jobs, different classes soon, as the same character. Okay, so I might want to spec into a DPS spec. Actually, I need like, I just needed like 20 seconds to respec. Or to switch traits, lines, thingies. Well, I guess Fabric, I'm glad I could get you caught back on LOTRO, especially with the Treebeard server. I hope you do enjoy that. If I remember correctly, you might start playing it Monday, you said? I haven't thought that far ahead. I don't know what I am doing Monday. I thought about doing some Update 30 stuff Monday, potentially. Ideally, talking... Oh, that was scary. Accidentally right-clicked it. That almost happened. But yeah, Final Fantasy, I was thinking about doing that Sunday, which would be the 4th of July, Independence Day, doing that in the afternoon time. Kind of like I did, I think, last week. Oh, did I do it Sunday? This Sunday? Don't remember. Hopefully this works, this strategy. Have potions, have everything on my bars, we have scrolls, tokens, eat my new fresh food. We need to avoid the circles and still get stacked together after all that. So basically the same strategy in a way. I am not in Canada, Cosmic Star. I am in the US. Kind of close to Canada, actually. Close-ish. Ooh, World of Warcraft, that is one. I feel like I've basically quit WoW since Battle for Azeroth. Kind of endish of Legion times, really. Kind of similar. I don't know, similar. Oh, that is an actual enemy. Is he... This one's bugged, but it's not in combat with us. Gondor banner, is that what it's called? Banner? Banner. Gondor? He is now a member of Gondor. So how did I start the channel? I had an old channel that I had a variety of content on when I was younger and just had different things. I had some weather-related stuff, some stuff on my pets, and some gaming stuff. But then I decided to make a channel. At the time, I had this idea that I would make a channel for each game I played, which was like 3 games or something like that. So I named the channel actually LOTRO Louis 7 to begin with. But then it just became a general gaming channel. Alright, so we're going full on Arpong Dok. I am in the yellow line, so I can use something like this. This is quite scary already, I have to say. Wow, I barely got out of that. I didn't get all the way out of it, but I barely got out of getting essentially one shot like everybody else. Ow. I don't know that that went all that well. And we didn't even have the ads yet. We might just not have enough damage for that strategy as possible. Yeah, Lich King is when I had the most fun in WoW as well. That might have been the worst attempt. It was kind of funny when we did this with like 6 people. We did relatively better, I feel like. I don't know if we actually did better, but we did pretty good when we had 6 people, and I don't know what was so different. And compared to the first boss, who has the distributed damage, we had a bunch of like low morale people, including myself. I probably had like half this morale. We did. It seems like actually better, if I remember correctly, on the Muma kill. I streamed that, so there might be video evidence. Too tanky, yeah. Group with the captains. A review of our group composition. The burglar was good there. That was a good addition, but we had 4 captains. That is not ideal. 1, maybe 2 captains. It seems like could be good. A tank captain, a DPS captain probably wouldn't be bad, but we had an excess of blue captains is what it felt like. Alright, so Fabric, you're asking about my channel, and yes, a lot of my videos do have very little dislikes, especially compared to when I was starting out with commentaries, and before I really did commentaries, I had a lot more dislikes on those. And then, yeah, I don't know if this channel will be something I can make a living out of. That is something I just don't know at this point. Right now it is not that close even, to be honest. But it's something where my channel is growing enough that it's something I have to actually think about compared to when I didn't really have to. Right, let's go ahead and leave the instance. Yeah, at that point you can still get a bunch of like vitality, or this fight don't really need tactical mitigation, but for future fights might need that. And finesse. Make sure you keep that one up too. They're talking in the kin chat about captains now needing more DPS classes. Definitely seems likely. Oh yeah, so Twitch, Fabric, that is a good question. Something I've been considering. As my channel has grown, I've actually started to consider trying Twitch again. I actually did some streams on Twitch back in the day, and I never really liked it from both a viewer perspective and a streamer perspective. So I have actually considered trying to potentially do that. I guess one concern with YouTube is this happens with bigger channels of various sizes, is mixing in regular videos and streams seems to be bad for your channel growth. But I don't know if my channel is actually big enough that it matters. If people actually dissuaded from going to my channel because I mix in streams with videos, I am not sure. But my regular videos are definitely more popular than my streams, but I actually do like to play LOTRO sometimes, so then I stream. But I guess the concern could be is if I did... Wow, that video... was just looking at my channel to see something like that in the producer interview videos at 197 likes, which is kind of crazy for a video that new. But... what was I going on about? Yeah, so if this were a full-time job type thing, I think that is when it'd be more concerning doing streams and videos on the same channel, because ideally, if this were a full-time job, I would have daily videos and daily streams. That would be a lot, which could potentially be good. Okay, so as far as the rest of this stream goes, that is pretty much all I had planned, and I probably should get some sleep. I got up early today, so I should probably get wrapping up with this soon, because I have gone a while, and that's pretty much all I had planned, as well as the whole sleep issue that I already talked about. Not an issue, but a thing I need to do. But where do I want to set this character? We'll go to Galtrav. But yeah, one other thing with gear is the Wildwood instances seem to have some decent pieces at this level. Even the jewelry, I think, has a lot of mastery type stats. Could potentially look into that. Also, as a kin, we have not run many featured instances. I think some of the challenge chests from old scaling instances can have pretty good loot, things like this. Of course, essence gear would be ideal, but this would be a lot easier to get and perhaps round out stats and allow people who don't have that good of gear to get better pieces, such as myself. Yeah, looking in my inventory if there's anything I can do to upgrade. Now I'm lagging. Very bad lag. Wow. Rating below the level cap, so that's an interesting note. This opens up a whole can of worms to talk about, but the particular server I am on actually has a level 105 cap. Essentially, the server takes the game as it is. It's not like a classic LOTRO type server, but it has a lower level cap and it's progressively going up. And currently the level cap is 105, so we're actually running what is essentially end game for this server, and it is at the level cap. But otherwise, there is sometimes an advantage to running raids below the level cap, and currently, the raid we are running, you can actually run below the level cap. It is a level 105 raid. You can run it at 130 and get a bunch of resources for legendary items, but perhaps in the future, with the legendary item revamp that is coming with Gundabad, that hopefully, ideally, would definitely no longer be the case, because in my opinion, old content, especially like this, something 25 levels below the level cap, should not be one of your best resources to progress in one of the game's systems. Yeah, things you could focus on outside of questing during the leveling process. There are a lot of videos on like leveling and efficient strategies and the such that I've thought about, and things like that, deeds, virtue XP, legendary items, running shouldn't be something you should focus on, I feel like. But running group content on level, I really like. I think everybody has left Discord. I'll go ahead and leave. Did not even say goodbye to everybody or good run or anything. Before Moria raids, I like all the Ingmar ones. They're ones I would recommend as well. If you are able to get an on-level group at least, I guess those would be less fun if you don't have an on-level group. Also, with those instances, both Ingmar and Moria, you can get a lot of virtue XP running those instances. And it's just those two particular sets of instances. And I do, Eric, think that the Treebeard and Shadowfax server populations are going to dwindle out slowly. I personally do, especially when something like Rohan hits. I think that's when they will really dwindle. Maybe that won't be the case, but especially with Treebeard, I find that more likely to be with Treebeard than Shadowfax. But Shadowfax is already a relatively low population server, it seems like. And Laura, you were wondering if stat tomes are paid to win, and I personally think so in a way, but a very important but is at high levels and endgame, the stats they give are negligible. You have way more stats than the stats tomes provide, so they're not really worth anything at that point. So in that case, they're not really, but there are some level ranges where they can have pretty beneficial stats, and if they actually did provide overall beneficial stats, I would definitely consider it pay to win, but because they don't, the overall stats they provide are very low compared to the amount of stats you can get. With all these stat bloat in LOTRO, especially at very high levels, it's not that much. In my opinion, of course. I really have nothing else to... I do have stuff I could do on this character, but nothing else I really want to get started with, so I might just be running around Galtrav if I don't wrap this stream up. So I should probably wrap this stream up. Thinking in review of what we have done today, first of all with the producer's interview, that was pretty great, pretty awesome. And I talked about, I guess, some of my thoughts with that, and overall, while I had the mic quality issues, I think it went very well overall and learned some things I was hoping to learn. I hope you all, as many people have said, it was a great interview, but I hope you all did learn some interesting things and were interested in the topics that perhaps weren't really commented on that I had planned. I could do a skirmish. I haven't done one. How about a Wildwood instance? We'll do that. I talked, not Wildwood, Agaroth. That is the one that can actually provide useful stuff, and I cannot launch it for some reason. I am apparently in a raid. We will see if what I said holds true. Have to run the 3... Actually, what's the featured instance? Blood of the Black Serpent. I'm not going to do that. Have to do the 3-man version. There we go. Yeah, one thing with Anor that I have definitely brought up before is I don't think it's in the most interesting era as far as doing older content eras. I actually don't think this is the most interesting era. While I still don't mind progressing on just a new character, I don't know about repeatedly farming all this stuff, and that's probably one reason I've had less playtime. I mean, I caught up with all the Gondor questing, stuff I would do leveling a new character anyway. But as far as I am concerned, I think the newest content in LOTRO is some of the funnest. I have no idea what spec I'm in, by the way. I think I'm in Yellow Line. Might need to start paying attention to things in a moment. This is a 3-man instance, supposedly. Not sure it's really living up to that standard right now. But there is a chance these guys can have some annoying effects that should be annoying. Not annoying in a bad way, but they can do a lot of damage. I am really curious how far I can pull without dying now. I don't think I have stopped running this entire time, which, for it being a 3-man instance, I definitely don't think should be the case. These dots might kill me. Can't remove those dots and they just do a lot of damage. That's what can get me, I think. Ooh. I have a debuff I need to remove. That's the problem with standing still, actually. The trick is to keep on moving, so pulling more actually works for that. Some of the gambits explain some of them. Okay, so all the gambits I'm using are mostly for AoE damage. Some of them do healing, but something like Range Resounding Challenge, I consider that one of the strongest Warden gambits because it does a lot of AoE damage over time. And it's range, so it has all that flexibility. And for the Yellow Line, there is the Barbed Javelins, which can bleed them. Pre-update 29, I would go with Shattered Javelins and get huge AoE bursts optionally, or just have guaranteed bleeds. And then another thing I use in the Yellow Line, because it can proc this Barbed Javelins for strong bleeds, are the morale taps, something like Exaltation of Battle. And one more and we can go to it. Fierce Resolve. Yeah, the leeches, these are the gambits that leech, but the actual leech strength of these aren't good. The benefit is they're AoE and can trigger the barbed javelins and get strong ranged AoE bleeds. Again, pre-update 29 you could get that guaranteed with shattered javelins, but no longer is that the case. And otherwise I use some melee gambits and occasionally single target heals depending on the situation. But yeah, back to that same strategy. I wonder what the boss will be like, if I should do that in blue line or continue that in yellow line. This is another situation where I'm kinda not sure I should be pulling quite this many enemies. I will try it. That's an example I probably should have used Resounding Challenge there. Okay, go in melee. I don't think I went in melee last time, didn't really feel the need to, but it is technically better too. I think it's just the Angmarum that have that annoying, I guess, strong fire effect. They have slowed me too. I'm too slow right there. This is not a skirmish, actually. This is a 3-man instance. I was just too slow with clicking my potion and doing things there. So, it is time for revenge. But yes, this is a Wildwood 3-man instance. It is Agaroth the Narrow Delve. It starts at level 45, of course, scales to the level cap, and at level 130 there is tier 2 and tier 3 on it. But cannot do that. There's also tier 4 and tier 5 I think now, but can't do that at level 105. And the reason I run the 3-man version, even though it has a solo and duo version, is because you can get better rewards, such as potentially gear. Okay, so I have a couple options here, and I will go ahead and just try yellow line, see how it goes. There's a good chance I will die, but maybe less of a chance if I have my Loman Hound out. And I kind of do the same strategy. I'd rather not be in melee range if possible. For the most part, in a situation like this where my health is doing fine and I have seized the moment, which I don't have anymore, I think that's when it's a little bit safer. Okay, he bled me, so I'll go here, and I don't think he's slowable. Yeah, he's not. Most bosses aren't, but randomly some of them. War of Three Peaks, I find the content in it fun. I really like the questing content in it. The instance Shakulash is pretty fun, and the raid is pretty fun, so I like a lot of the content there. I don't know if it's worth getting if you just play on Treebeard. As far as I know, the missions should be unlocked. I don't think there's any reason they won't be unlocked. So that's something you could potentially get out of it, but I don't, in my honest opinion, I don't think it's worth getting just for the missions. Let's see, I'm not doing great right now. These little things might be slowable. It's rootable, it looks like, but not slowable. Okay. That is kind of odd that it's rootable and not slowable. And one of them disappeared. I can only assume because it died, but I don't know. Maybe they just disappear when they die. This is actually the strategy that I used on my Blue Line Hunter. Somebody was talking about Blue Line Hunter versus Yellow Line Warden, and same general strategy, I think. Maybe not. Oh, I had to conserve power. That was the big difference on my Blue Line Hunter. Got nothing useful out of that, unfortunately. We can try the next boss. I don't know if I can get the next boss in the Yellow Line, but might as well try it again. Things are going well so far. And yeah, Three Peaks. Oh, Rick, you think Three Peaks is hard even at tier 1 gear? I thought you were saying Three Peaks had tier 1 gear, as in like the tier 1 gear was good from it, which that part I definitely agree with. Lore Master, I could definitely see it being hard as Lore Master. I was, of course, on Louisden, the Warden, and Wardens are really great at landscape content. So I found it very fun as a Warden. There were definitely parts that were challenging, but I made them extra challenging by making sure I did as big AoE pulls as possible sometimes, so essentially creating challenge with things like that. this one, my main concern is getting my corruption removal. So this boss will have a corruption, and this is the last boss I can do. Can't do the last boss solo unless they fix that. But this boss will get a corruption, I think at certain morale thresholds. I don't know what interrupting that would have even done. And the corruption reflex damage, so I have to be very quick about removing the corruption, so I'm going to put it in battle memory. That way I can cast it quickly. Because with all my dots, even if I don't hit with any new abilities, the corruption will get me killed. So there we go, use the corruption removal, and basically do that for the entire fight. Except don't use ranged offensive strike, that is a bad strategy. Oh no, I am apparently not actually using that. Looks like I'm actually kiting pretty decently. Oh no, the corruption. I missed the corruption right there. I was starting to pay attention to the kiting. I think I can still do yellow line though. Unfortunately, that was not successful. One thing I should be doing is doing outro type stuff that I was supposed to be doing this whole time. Where do I go? This way, I think. I really like this scene here. I think I've had it as an outro previously, as like an end screen. But with the fires, the auroras, the snow and some of it melting into liquid, and some of the ice, I guess, could be dripping, and the little pond and all the frozen area around. It's a very nice scene, I think. So another credit to the world building with LOTRO. Do I need to be in first person? Anyway, outro type stuff. What other things have we done today? Throne of the Dread Terror raid. We did boss 1, pretty easy. Boss 2/3/4, they weren't too easy. And we did not get past that, so that's a quick summary of our 3 hours of raiding. As we got through boss 1 pretty easily, and then the movement kill. I need to get my corruption removal and actually pay attention this time. I believe paying attention is usually a good strategy that I don't always employ. Like there, I almost missed the corruption removal. Might be going a little bit too hard on the DPS right there, but we'll see. Also, having higher morale does give me a little bit of extra time, I guess, to make sure I remove the corruption. I feel like, yep. It's like, I feel like that corruption is coming. Good night, Pimsry. Go ahead and put one of these on again, just in case. I don't know if this will be the last corruption I need. Ooh, standing in fire, that is not good. Oh, that was close. Hopefully that was the last corruption. Okay, I will put one in my bank just in case, but I think that was the last corruption I needed to remove. And now I can just go full DPS and killing as far as I know, but I do have the corruption removal backed up just in case. I think I still have Never Surrender. I switched to melee, I thought she was chasing me. I do have the wolf though. But anyway, got through that. What other things have we done today? We walked around Galtrav doing nothing and then decided to do something, which is this, and we got a Steel Ring of the Narrow Delve, which is, it actually has offensive stats this time. I thought one of these rings has defensive stats. And I don't think immediately it would be an upgrade over my current item level 136 ring. My level 85 ring, I think, is currently better for this character, unfortunately. That is crazy, Fabric, if you never thought you would go back to LOTRO, and now due to my channel you are going back. But that is all I can do. As far as I know, the last boss, you still can't trigger that as one person in the 3-man version of it. So that is all I actually do have to do in here, but I will leave this great scene of Agraroth the Narrow Delve as I talk about, I guess, upcoming things. So tomorrow I would like to stream the Treebeard server, do some stuff there, and then Sunday I would like to stream Final Fantasy XIV. We will see if things actually go to plan. Last weekend they did not completely go to plan, so we will see with that. I also do want to work on some videos, I guess Monday. One thing I could try to work on for Monday or early next week is something about the interview. There are a lot of different videos I actually have that I'd like to do related to the interview. Not really summaries of the interview, so if you want to watch the interview, but picking apart specific topics and just talking about my thoughts on them a little bit further, maybe based on some things Reninia said, or just things like that. So that's the potential for the future. Also, one thing about this scene is the blend of colors. So I talked about the environment going on, but the red fire, kind of greenish stuff going on, and then the aurora is usually greenish as well. But then also a little bit of a blue tone and some purplier stuff, which is definitely a word, purplier, going on as well. This is actually a nice view. I don't think I have much from this angle as well. But anyway, that is what I have planned coming up, and hopefully in the future again I can maybe do more interviews. But I want to give Standing Stone Games a little bit of a break. I also know the community manager is, I think, going to be, they have like some vacation days they have to use, something like that, so maybe wait till I know any of my messages or whatever will be said. Well, I've had to ban 2 people today. That is crazy. I've never had to ban anybody before in live streams. Usually it's just in videos. And it takes apparently it takes a minute for them to actually get properly banned. But now I at least know how to ban people. Hopefully that doesn't happen in the future. But you know what? I honestly consider it a good thing. If my channel is popular enough to get spam bots, then that makes me feel like it is successful. Anyway, I think that is all I actually have for this stream. So chat has been super active, especially with Fabric, who is a channel member that I know recently upgraded, so I appreciate that. Also, Bakalonius was here, channel member. I think Andrew was here earlier as well. There might have been somebody else. I'm sorry if I forget. Salty Scrunt, which I may have never actually mentioned. Salty Scrunt, I don't remember pointing out that name. But anyway, with all the chat, all that, thank you all, and thank you all for all the feedback as well on the producer interview. And with that, that is actually all I have for today, I think. So I hope you all did enjoy the stream and all the content we ran through and all these struggles. It is sometimes fun to struggle in raids, and it has been a while, so I actually did oddly enjoy that. I hope you all enjoyed it too, and if you did, please consider liking and subscribing for more, or becoming a channel member to support the content. And thanks for joining and chatting and watching, everyone.